ko wala be Gambian kolu nafala Gambian kolu be d'accord maintenant 2016 ni musolu yete o city wala funding kewlo funding kewlo 2016 yete o city iko Gambia fo Gambia bo kol kole ata nyawnya dictatorship abejanta nyawnya iko we will stand up to dictatorship to make sure that kabako nyi banko nyi we bring back a democratic government me alon kabako the yal promise luwa kutola the constitution of the republic a new constitution barbi manza kunda kamune fo ado bato so womunati failed promises but then wamanya na moterena bao ale men mandate ale place di men ako campagne ko you can say anything ni si la place do men dia de okay but that is taking us for fools and manya na so na wala ko nyanda jalal ka ko ni mazakunda men binasila 2026 ake mazakunda di même manqué Adama Barrow Manzakunda me yalon kab kabesila anya kala Manzakunda me yalon kab corruption abole kella banko kan aram satambila benga president ngala banki o moyle National Assembly corruption o sinya fula damana ya fala kumoko no adu amanke school sentence aketa part of words lati I may use amanga kava kwa any paragraph fanta or a complete sentence amata aya attribute to corruption ayo di corruption ola amoke mo meke pa wanyata motere na lebang mamira wanyata motere na kaduko corruption ka fai italia amanga kudme yalon ka ko pareta kake note kabrin 30th of January 2024 the Anti-Corruption Act konko ya anti-corruption act ya loi president ya signé lumena kita loi di banko ka waye menni ninka wolon ka ko nyanta commissional set up la anti-corruption commission me ya lon ko anyanta corruption ko ni ka enquête banko ka hanbi o man lo karwo nyina na de lafta corruption of fight la loi passe lumena wo somo dans the corruption commission ni anyanta lola ka tumo mena biluani ibada da kan haklo nyanta talla mol kanne bela lon ka boko luni luato lan nyame ndoro wo moli beta lale yesi ndi palazo ngalon ka boko moke ka ko Gambia ba association no ndabe ko association mendo wol nyanta talla vetting committee do men nyanta mol tombonna adu hanbi intel loyalo mafoko Carfunala, whatever law antele, were vetting commission, select members of the anti-corruption. So for them, the passage of the bill, come on. Near me, I sang you letter. Joining what bypass like the national. A pass of an and B. Tafas monkey. But I got a motor in Alabang. I nyanta motor in Alabang. And corrupt practices. And then you come on very advisedly, mantra to Mikekan, Dalila ko lebe bulu, ne yatemba fokan. Ni presence law, ko auditor general, I tinyarol membondi, walmu mere opinions leti. Asalon Kavoko, this man does not have he does not have any interest. He is not willing to fight corruption in the country. If you can equate the findings of the Auditor General to mere opinion, it can left all wrong. Corruption on you. I tell you, Banko can you wrong. But it's a kabalu corruption on. So for you to put in place any mechanism, Mary Alon Kavoko will effectively combat corruption. One mechanism itaman pare kake, you don't have the political will because niake. Ibe fane janga, so he said that no, you have not passed. I am also surprised Lebang. Barit kang amang me. yang Gambia yen so boro la ko yen so boro la pour ka tan l'hôpital to mais ya nadi ngamira ka fele ko 220 for foundation of dollar foundation 221 boro ni ya nati banko kam e ko man juuti jo ya wafi bartonya hanata nyanta juuti jo la aman juuti jo ita janta munekala ya kos anyanta kala mendi yata yadi mansa kundala ayata na laptanol kono nim fali nyanta pla jeto ye fali da yadi la bari ko ya ju fa wa iko ya wafi fatu babaro foundation wala o fat babaro foundation o fanan kana otale ka sama laptanol ka fa ko ngal so nyinna ya Gambia ko nakari yata yat wa fatema foi pitans report wali wali o mansa kunda be mansa kunda me kono wala be corruption of file la banko ka because albe balukan corruption wala to fight corruption certainly what the keno la mumeke albe lip service don dila and certainly Mr. President I challenge you go set up the anti-corruption commission right away. And the anti-corruption commission has set up one of the first things that should be investigated would be in drugs. That should be the first subject of investigation by that anti-corruption commission. And I challenge to do that. I also challenge you, Mr. President, to have the investigation into GIA. Mayor Kalkolaka ground handling keno at the airport janto. Il a functions have been taken over by another company. Why? Gambians go corruption labor duma. And Mr. President, Danielko to clear the air, refer that matter for proper investigation by the Anti-Corruption Commission. Set up the Anti-Corruption Commission and refer that matter to the Anti-Corruption Commission for proper investigation. Barrow, it can more let off for Jeto. Melaron Kavoko, Sural Kamembo, Bronom Batankali. More Melaron Kavoko, Kunukumbal Lomo. Kunukumbal Melaron Kavoko, Ela Itame Yiribanyandi, Evelo La Yirbulo Yinka, or Kunukumbalo, near investigate. Ni more than Tambiana Falala, or Mukurati, Melaron Kavoko. Anyanta investigate. Mr. President, I challenge you to set up the Anti-Corruption Commission. Near set up, one of the first things Menyant investigates is about Nero, the handling of the ground, handling ground operations at the airport. I challenge you because people more before Kankaboko, a Manta Masilala, Mola Kakaboko, you are killing GIA in favor of Nero and Memanyana Hapula. National enterprises, the companies. If you can kill those ones for private companies, Mr. President, we think that it's really a bank on your basamba. So, we challenge Mr. President, I appreciate backing. New hospitals, in fact, killing Kotola, Asan Musa Kamara. Alhamdulillah, ayate do aydo ko kenyim banko e tele banko samba independence to moment na iko Gambia is an improbable nation. It tele ya kendi ka ko nyim banko alota mo place la for it became the envy of the world. Kaya ka ko small countries can with better management, with good management, they can become viable countries. Bawut mo ngoli amira ka ko Gambia would have to be part of Senegal than Barrow. But Asan Musa Kamaranyolo, they gave all for the Gambia. Wale ya kendi, ni Gambia lota mo office lola. Ni lopta no lato wala, mumud kukunde balti, anyanta kelele. Ni congratulate wala. But Mr. President, just structural building, that is not what a hospital is. Mr. President, really, ni lopta no ni alo. Women benya takala loptano ko wala nyanta Mr. President, how many gynecologists? Lebe, Basse Health Center. You look down Kudomelo. Yadol Hassan Musa Kamarada. How many orthopedic surgeons are there? How many surgeons will be Mr. President, Inila Mr. Bao Kabulo Drobuny Maba, Yamol Samajeto, Computer Belor Moli Amraka, one move and ballet. Go Laptan Kuton, Santa Laptan Kuto, Barmania Takalajeto, Mr. President will be Jetoleba. Go, Mr. President, Yolaptan Olo, Namira for Pandandinamba, Jogadu, very good hospital. Here, congratulate Yatola Alpha Kendabala. Ken Kismajo. Yatola Lobdano, Yatola Alpha Kendabala. Sefo Jim Fatmajo. Gambia Alpha Kendolo. I don't go in Gambia. I attend the Gambia long Kavako in Sibalunum Fayele, Ningaseno Kanyama. Kadmobe Yalo Kavos in Labarumat. But what up Tanoni? Mayalo, Mr. President. Benjamin Kala. Saying it is 9:30. Nimus Konamata all of Tanodo. 11:30 Kingiyama. Another operational killer. Surgery killer. Another Rosler. Theater for surgery. Mr. President, do you have the gynecologist yet, medical killer? Do you have a health center? Many problems. Do you have in Sarafanya Hospital many other problems? No, you don't have them there. If all not lamentole, cannot banju loptanoto. 11:30. Basoron by Labesorom Walma. What do you do? Mr. President, Nibo Kusifal Keller. You have to factor in all those things. Therefore, therefore, no keta. Loptano nying ala soto as navad belon na men. Naro kusifal kera. Samaris rosnole. Batele between a space of 20 to 25 minutes. I put Edward Francis Teaching Hospital. But no, Mr. President, Mantrajeter. So new momenti it's just a white project. Kaitan ni mola kawo albunyimal jube. In fact, albole kesa albunyimal jube. Bari menyan takela lopta noti. Muna wala Mantrajeter. So President, so ela developmental priorities nyolo. It doesn't ali. Ikani rakabo ko nalsita malo karuka kakele no resar kabina dro moye miraka ko yamrante ngekel wa hapa okay. What kaja si father, you cannot develop country kavoko esidro casual kachadro kuefenkadro and without giving a thorough and proper consideration, investigate all the pros and cons. Femfe yalon kavoko askaye nyato tati yo be fenke femfe yalon kavoko asikaye a problem of for implementation yo be fenke but wala manke ni loptano to. And of course Mr. President, any Minister of Health na challenge ko ngani ko mo mel patel na nimpo yalo ala fo ha many fo gana collection yo be jele bang ma jaw loptano to wala loptano mello tumanna dola jimara no tumanna dola san Musa Kamarada wala membe ki an 40 ba nebi jeto ninda na ko signal bi jeto ali fonye kadla pak no solla ka mo le ko benne nela ka mo le ko ka ko loptano de that is not a sort of health service delivery mo sula ti banko la men. Mr. President, kunu in fact kunu ko Thursday Angleterre ngol e dara kata fay wala a kata fay opposition wala ganya ta jeto after 14 years wala kata jeto ba nyaja Mr. President lafta ke haklo bulandi Angleterre ngol la kata fay wala itale nyin don ko ba e meta jeto le e ko kabula bo so la wato da how many hours later from one point to another how many hours
9 hours.
9 hours. Okay. So, but there is that very efficient bus service for Bangkok. So, transportation market is a problem. Apart from, bus service, you have surface train here, your underground train financial. So transportation manque la problem di. Slow manque la problem di. Airport kendo manque la problem di. Kanyim kumol ni fonkol ni fiscal infrastructure fonkol manque la problem di. But Mr. President, ete America wako fiscal structure. Wala banko la nafati. Ya America wako ni volume development. No, Mr. President, not the volume development. Mansakundata boiler, Angleterre, Mansakundata boiler, America, Mansakundata boiler, France, Mansakundata boiler, Australia, it's a boiler, Canada. Because for infrastructural development, it far better than Membijanto. But that is not what people talk about in those countries. UDP can make for Janto, one corner for Jeto. Kono. The welfare of the people. Welcome for Jeto. You call medical care. You call education, access to education. What you call the for Jeto? UDP call for Janto. So now Kalo Kaboko na flyovers near the bank. Mr. President, that is inconsequential. Your flyover Menkijeto, I'll tell you, how does that benefit somebody from Darboe? For Kaboko Darboe, but serious, you have to address the needs of the people, and the government people are needs and momenti. Wolomu, Domoro. Not only Domoro, but good quality food. Number 2, proper healthcare delivery system. Secondly, quality education. I congratulate Minister for Education. I mean, he's been very professional. I have a phone call Kabemel Kekan. But,
Gomez.
yes, but, Mr. Minister, Yano Ibemel Kono, can give a lot of lip service to these things. I know the stumbling blocks that you are facing. You have, but it will come in vocabulary. I have for draw more than I'm going to lower. So, good quality education, more sooner to learn in Bangkok. Mr. President, Samakalenta Menaka, Iko Jambando. Iko Jambando, ya datalale. Jeb jolle bota jeto amame ko talludo ko tallude bondi da jambando da tala tallude me yalo ka foko fonko abe minti din temps bu ka sofnoyi ko mo na famune nara ka foko UDP le basire Mansakunda nu where we will not be talking about ka jambando da tala ni Mansakunda sisi I $40 million in sa. Ayadi media houses nyola. Ko aye media houses nyola. Yes ku. Yes enenku. Ko ye jamu. Ko ye la ku kendol ke. The $40 million ayadi yola. Muna $40 million onye. Ni apeta. Ya san jambando la. Eko senale ko ali. Alata. Ala ni anabi. Kola ni tabanko sabala ni. Dina kavoko. Ibenyi mori jola. For do for you PRO for trying to sanitize you. There is no amount of propaganda. There is no amount of explanation of government policies. Failed government policies. May I don't cover when these media houses will be able to do. Your image is already tarnished. You are already dirty. It has sent and in order. And the policies they are already failed. It will cool care in order. May I don't cover Allah policies see better. So, Mr. President, allow me to say misplaced priority. We see the Darboe Mansakunda, the Mengala, that will meet the farmers. Not only reduce it, but to make sure Kafoko, new fertilizer, you also have to because $40 million yoga fertilizer for the Dawoda. I have a number of bagsmen that day. I have collect tons and tons and tons and tons. And that will be for the good of the Gambian people. In that way, we will be encouraging farming. In that way, we will be telling the Gambian people that agriculture is a priority area. That way, we'll be telling the people, in fact, many investment the return that we expect from it will be much more higher higher return. But no, fundada, and that is not taking us anywhere, and it will not take us anywhere. Mr. President, Ilama Sakunda, sometimes, but is this a real serious government? Or really, are these really VU talks? Are these VU talks? Mr. President, eko kabindia mure kamfata ye feriol nati. Eko feriol do binarbe ala kavko solar. Itale afode ndemapo. Eko solar operational. Well, we hope to see how we'll see so. Barrow eko molele ko musolve sile la bu ila bulu kolele sara talata wala sara sofi wala mankamon yela mo bado fenka ila gadol ye jibo aya fatele nyimbir kama sata kono jang man fenji jeedo free wifi aya fa nyi sata ko man fenji jeedo birgama gon ngamero ko manara ko be ka fo jannet aya fo jannet any serious government to will la wrong ado kumol fola me yalon ka boko ama any foundation sort. I think federal problem should not have come up to this time. Jani Baflako, yeah, buy new ferry. It was already there. I mean, acting under pressure, maybe. Well, until I see the ferries. Ni yellow day ni menkata ten community wolong Kamanzakunda kendo kasindi Bangkok. Ay karkilinta Minister Hamad Ba funtitana ako ha yalon tanga sembo sotale loy sembo dinnale kadula di mola loy sembo dinnale dawda kadi mola ha dabo lafta politiko la janto bari president mu Gambia dingleti president nyanta la sotlale ayo kuma kuntan sifalle bo pa ayalu de kenol soto well ni wono jabirode halibe nak mo man jabide killing Ntako was section ni you violate kaduko you conspire to take from the Gambian people an asset look under the State Lands Act grant leases to anybody or make allocations to anybody. That is not a layout. When Mansa Kundala cordality, aboko commandant la residence de Janyami. You will do yata kokoe batala, allocation. O mank allocation, when boy kangleti, Nim Bulani, Adama Barrow, Ahmad Ba, or whoever would mean South. If Boyta Gambian called Kanye, the Gambian called Yala Fenta, and Islamanta, Ila Sembekero, Yole you, Semba Mayalo Kafkas and abuse of power. And that is not the type of government you people who want to have to be in charge of the affairs of this country. President Yemenke is in fact in contravention of the Constitution. A manyana law, Wadula, Chief Justice Officer Residence Law, Manzakunda Kendo, me yalam ka ko senda wala man sakunda be men sirkal wala 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 do abe warli nyame be bun kendelo la jeto chief justice na karadola na bun kendelo je fana president of the Gambia Court of Appeal so da ni joj ba fulo melan ka ko itele na kito nyatlinda man sakunda la keno man sakunda la fang me yalam ka ko weltamo ye sabati jeto but yana yes sembo use abuse your powers, abuse your authority, and misappropriate or appropriate the land to yourself, and you call that an allocation. I think to say that allocation is in fact a wrong use of the word. Allocation in relation to land is always for layouts, approved layouts. The eligibility criteria. May yalong kafoko wala under Regulation 6 of the second schedule in the state standard. Kafoko fenfe nyantale yedula soje. Baratada ko natarete mari kordal be bulle goto approved layout it's a fence of lajeto parce que na manya fa allocation lajeto adama baro kay ko da jole so ay men ko way ko da warula so bo manyan hanata layout onom amanya so lajeto sa ko la me yalla ka fa manke layout abako ko cape state house number 2 ni president ko ran sita janto na be naritala ay ko batum fa nga janta nga develop nga kenarita ni nyole kata janto sunyaro nada ka ko fenne mi ka cikano ban safa ko bankon ya tapale yale adama baro nyamat ba ko ad minister me yalta ndako ya tapale yale and I want them to prove me wrong. In the first place, I want to see the application, but you have to apply for allocation of land in an approved layout. We want to see the application that was made, and I say that there was no application made there. Alkana buloko ni nade dangamera ntame banketa isital dorong ibakara ka ko maudo ayi palaso ko tako sadon ko dimi fali ayole fa aka maudo do na problem ni okay wala ke ta ko ndame be sado la ko dadala bana daf ko wala that's a problem. So that is Savoko, former president Sado la Karabana Konda be South Atlantic, former president Adama Barrow for Konda be South Atlantic. It's not going to happen. I ask every Gambian to rise up and say that this appropriation of property, of government assets, has to be rescinded and let the property revert back to the government of the Gambia. Adama Barrow, my advice to you is stop any development on that land because that is in your own interest. Because if you continue with any development on that land, government must have me for ya panbad, yata yake kati. Nung falling katajanto, you may lose it because already you have been warned. Because this should not go on. And I advise you, and I advise the minister, Kavoko, for your not that you have any moral conscience. If you have any moral rectitude, these are things that should not happen. You shouldn't even allow them to happen. Ya ajajame anala chafarto ya be anala lifin bank wala nyawnya nene mama government asset ayata kam kayata kata anal chafarto ya be and those that type of wrongs how can you come in as a government that should rectify wrongdoing? You come and perpetuate wrongdoing, doing things are quite contrary to the Lands Act, are quite contrary to the Constitution of the Gambia, and you expect Gambians to really look away and not say anything about it. We'll say something, we are urging you, we are asking you to stop any development on that land because you are developing land that belongs to the government of the Gambia. This is not an approved layout, this is an asset of the government, and converting it, in fact, it's just like committing an economic crime. It's just like committing an economic crime. Yeah? And I believe that anyone involved in that can right be charged for that. Because they are explaining away a wrong deal. A control of family Yes, Mr. President. You are going to school. I was not a politician. I was not holding a political position. I did not hold any office. I can influence the Minister for Lands to allocate the land to me. I'm just a mere civil servant, just like all other civil servants, and I can name 2 or 3 of them lawyers: Antuman Gay, Fafam Bay, Wallace Grant, all lawyers. We had our properties there. And there are other civil servants in Melankavko, they all had allocations done, and that is an approved layout. And certainly, because we, according to the eligibility criteria, we deserve it. Mr. President, your minister wants to mislead the Gambian people, and I'm disappointed that Mr. Ahmad Ba did not do his research properly before he came out with that wishy-washy press release. Yes, there's allocation to Fatima Defender Darboe. Ndimma. There's allocation to her. And I think they call it Bijilo Mini Layout. That allocation was made in 2023. But at least the lease was signed in 2023. And the lease took effect in 19th May 2019. So, our date of application was May 2019. What influence did I have? So that now daughter's application is also here. My wife, my application, and that was in 2022, years after I had left government. So to tell people that he was foreign minister, I was vice president, was just to mislead people. They misuse their official position. I never used my position as a minister to gain anything for any of my relatives or for myself. I've never done it because I thought morally, if legally it was not wrong, I think morally it was wrong. So I've never done it. Now, Mr. Ahmad Ba, Mr. President, go back and come back with an explanation why you have to steal our land and give it to Adama Barrow. I think that is what you have to explain to the Gambian people. Not this kind of comical press statement that you produce. You know? So Lafta Kanitan Molakavoko really our country is in a wrong trajectory. And all of us, as citizens of this country, we have a duty to ourselves. We have a duty to the generations yet unborn to make sure that that wrong trajectory is really corrected, so that the Gambia can be put on a pedestal. Tomorrow, when our grandchildren look back on us, they will say certainly our grandparents did for us what we deserve. But we cannot have this type of government here and expect our grandchildren to be proud of us. We cannot have this type of government here and expect our grandchildren to say good of us. We cannot have this type of government here and believe that history will judge us rightly. It can never happen. So until now, we should really change that. I tell me, I'll not can I join UDP. Come, let us do the work together. Come so that in 2026, we bring in to this country, we give ourselves a government that we deserve. In 2026, the government be more than 2026, Mazakuna Mayalon Kavoko, 2026, Mazakuna Mayalon Kavoko, at a political Karala Hajot. Wallahi, Eko, Momanya na Diamula, vacated lato. But Manya Mantra of Kega, Kavkon Menkata correct, Farman correct, Ibrahim Menka for citizen from citizen, Mantra of one. But in Natra Kavoko, this government is really serious about reforms. And the criminal offences bill, today, is currently before the National Assembly. And that criminal offences bill, I have born the sedition, I have born the luato. It is Masakundati. And you are truly committed to what is stated in that criminal offences bill. Wallahi, it is more the child for sedition in this country. Because if you do so, you are running contra to what is already contained in the criminal offences bill, that is to say, the repealing of that section. But this shows that it's not a serious government. This shows that it's a government, political dhamma. Even administration of justice, I have to carry it on political basis, partisan political basis. That's not right. That's not right. A serious government would certainly say, we will not do this. I remember some laws which were long covered to the Supreme Court, that one general stood and said, I don't support the law. No, remember, any serious government, when your Attorney General says that I do not support this law, any serious government would take steps to make sure that that is to say, the Public Order Act, Attorney General, Batambadu, allotted before the Supreme Court, Kavoko, those provisions requiring permission for procession and for permit for public meetings. Well, he does not support it. If that one general says that, you government, what do you stand for? But again, in the colonial days, it was used by the colonialists against their opponents, against people who are fighting for freedom of their country. So we will also use it against United Democratic Party, against people like Mahdi Jobate, against other activists, so that we suppress them, so that we muzzle them, so that they will not be able to say what they want to say. And of course, this is the colonial laws, these laws that are inimical to the growth of democracy in the Gambia, and walu iteta manila. Alingo filter. Kachan be keri Bangkok. Kumol be siari Bangkok. But love and tell na understanding. Na menkaral ito na understanding jeto kadol pale. Iko Jojo la loi. Membe keri wodwanye la tamen sama député mudo e ma ko jojo la loi ila jojanta kala nyinati e ko commission si lo me yalon ka boko natara man sakunda be dula bela joj invest la bela joj ba jubela e ba review la ko jojo fanal la jojo o fana wodi ba wa aboko bi civil service ni natara bala la salaries ni ba review la mechanism tijeto e be jojo la ta ibadi vula nyame e ko tal ngal waki nibe the general civil service, the general salary review nabe kala judges lol fanalta o fananyanta anyanta ka review e commission lo ala regulation la ba fenka ko regulation do na ni a fenka nin ku kara jeta me yalo ka ko ama mol nyata dia ba loi membe keri membe before national ama ko jojo la salary anyanta ka fula tenne wala anyanta kala la tenne ban labda ka ku kilim fali labda ko ku fali ya mo membo ko Henry Gomez albe Henry Gomez mo be balu ada be balu kan mo membo ko advisors ko advisors fo wala joña ta si ala jojol le bam wal duna jojol wal bi be bi te bo men wala jo siata han ko to fapi jojol non dala nga fali ila jole sa ko to fapi jojol adu be ta mala wato wati e kata me ita dam bo ka do kata me wato mo si ka haklola ye bilo ni ya jube properly. The authority lady Kavoko is a commission law, Mayalon Kavoko, judges no salaries no as review no when it is time to review the general salary structure throughout the country. Of course, many other friends on the Mayalon Kavoko ila Palazzo Madi. But really, Henry Gomez la jota midi jojo la. Omu kubali Nendiro longoti. Puru nandoro pour Gambia ñole o mo kuntan sifon Henry Gomez Lamin Cham Dursano ani juma o ko advisor wol kam advisor ne dol bu xana ngale kan ni Henry Gomez na ka tanu ta bola ministre yalla ta bola ministre yalla parlement de National Assembly abu jedo abu magla he couldn't even address the assembly properly through account of Buka for National Assembly. So therefore, he had to be removed. When another court advisory, them receiving salaries more than the judges. More than High Court judges. In fact, National Assembly members, the next budget session, I'm making a public, I'm asking the UDP National Assembly members to vote against that head of the that head. Special advisors, salary for them. Because they are politicians. We cannot pay the campaign manager of NPP. We cannot pay his salary. We shouldn't pay his salary. We cannot pay the salaries to these people for carrying out purely political work for NPP. Today, I'm declaring that when the next budget comes up, UDP National Assembly members and all other National Assembly members, they have the interest of this country at heart, will tell them to vote against that particular item in the budget so that it's taken out. Kodo member kaloto, wakodo yata, yadi Gambia senalala, wakodo yata, yake na karambuto, wakodo yata, yake na loptano, ni mo kundalu.